Did you notice? I mean, because I noticed being in the audience, the crowd started to change, and the audience started to change after "Sing Loud, Sing Proud" was released. And I think by the time that I moved back to New England, I remember like hearing people like looking forward to the St. Patrick's Day show in Boston, and it was not traditional punk rocker fans at all. Like they were just like ordinary like teachers and librarians and people like, oh, I'm going to go see the Dropkick Murphys. And from the stage, did you start to notice a difference in the audience?
Well, that was the interesting thing, and and this is, Kenny used to say this all the time, is we became this bridge band in the sense that, maybe those people that got into Rancid and then got into the Clash, where I got into the Clash because of just my age, obviously, and then, didn't get into Rancid until later, but by the way, I think the bands are drastically different, but people love to compare them. But then we became this bridge between the Pogues and the Ramones and modern day, what became modern day. They now is a genre, Irish punk. When I joined the Dropkick Murphys, I can say this because I joined the Dropkick Murphys when they had already been a band for a while. There was no genre called Irish punk.
Yeah,
you know what I mean. And the Dropkick Murphys have always tipped their hats to the trad bands from Ireland and to the Pogues, but for the influences. But in 1996, when they started, there weren't all these bands. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. The Dropkicks are, one of the bands in the forefront. There's a couple of bands that come from Canada that were around before the Dropkicks, but that's besides those bands that no one really got to see. Aside from those bands, it was just the Pogues, Mm-hmm. So we became one of those bridge bands. So in terms to answer your question, we started to see kids that were coming. All of a sudden, their parents, their uncles were coming because it's like the Wild Rover, and the Rocky Road to Dublin, and so there's all these songs that these people would hear in an Irish fest or St. Paddy's Day or whatever, and so they were coming. So yeah, more main. I hesitate to use the term mainstream, but we started to see people that were definitely outside of the punk rock scene coming.
Mm-hmm. A lot of my introduction to Irish folk music was through Dropkick Murphys, like the songs that I would learn to play, and like when I'd go to St. Patrick's Day events or see an Irish folk band playing or something like that, I would request things like Finnegan's Wake or Rocky Road to Dublin or something because of Dropkick Murphys. So it was like a similar way that you were saying about how Rancid was an introduction to the Clash, which is exactly accurate for me. I didn't know anything about the Clash until I saw that comparison with Rancid. I think I started buying Clancy Brothers records after I heard the Dropkick Murphys, because I'm like,
that's what I mean. So that's the thing, is like we heard that from people in both directions. You had people that were from the Clancy Brothers era who were coming to see us because their grandson had turned them on to us, and then in reverse, you have people like your age at the time that were listening to us and then going and buying the Clancy Brothers.
Yeah.